I'm looking at this giant figure, huge, 8 feet tall, non-human gait. I'm trying to classify what this thing is, but it's not real. And I know what it is, but what it is not real.
The arms of these things went well below their knees. Unbelievably long arms.
When I looked up, there was a young male looking at me.
Something's going around my tent. It stops behind me, and then contact.
We really tried to get pictures, but these things seem to outfox us.
Something is leaving footprints.
As you start utilizing the data and you start seeing the data tell the story, the whole story unfolds right before your eyes.
The way it pulled its little one, its young behind it with its arm. I mean, I can't even put it in words. It was so unreal.
Knowing about them, they seemed too intelligent for me to consider them as something you could go out and hunt like an animal. That is, whoa.
So these were brought here.
I had one client talk about how muscular it was and how broad its shoulders were and how it's just was in awe of this incredibly majestic creature.
You will always have that with you. You will always remember that moment.
When he was walking away, I called out to him, "You're the most beautiful creature in the world. Please don't go."
I was that person. I did not believe. I just thought it was a myth.
Open up your minds, because they're out there.
Yes, open up your minds because they're out there. And this is Will. This is your Sci-Fi Squatch Will today, because we're going to be talking about Sasquatch, but in particular, specifically, A Flash of Beauty, Bigfoot Revealed. Hands down, the best Sasquatch, Bigfoot documentary I've ever seen, and just one of the better or even best documentary films I've ever seen. And that is the absolute truth. So, right, the truth is out there, right? The truth is out there, and for me, the truth, the taste of tea, is A Flash of Beauty, Bigfoot Revealed. Now, obviously, as a Squatcher, as a Sasquatch fan, Bigfoot buddy, I've seen many, I dare say dozens, maybe hundreds by now. Certainly dozens and dozens of documentaries, and then there's many TV shows, finding Bigfoot, chasing Bigfoot, hunting Bigfoot, what have you, shooting Bigfoot, photography, not the gun. We hope not. I mean, there is the theory, of course, and the school of thought that the only way, the non-believers or the mainstream will be placated is to have a corpse, to bring in a dead Bigfoot. And I recognize that. I would agree to a point, though I don't want to see, a beautiful animal killed, like even in the trailer there. The one guy says, you're the most beautiful creature and animal I've ever seen. And that's the really interesting thing, too, is so many of these witnesses say just how incredible the musculature and the hair color and scheme and the eyes. But again, the idea of having the evidence, having that, body, say that corpse, or maybe even a live Squatch, capture him, trap him. I mean, it's easier said than done, probably, right? But if there was a way to trap him or her, gotta say her really, because the most famous Bigfoot of all, most famous Squatch, is a female, Patty, on the Patterson-Gimlin footage. But over the years, the productions that I've seen, they do have people who do try to trap Squatch, a Squatch snare. They try to get them, but they've failed. Obviously, they have failed. I wonder if any traps have been tripped, and then, the creature manages to escape. I haven't heard that. But again, there was this one expedition, this one project where I'm pretty sure they spent quite a lot of money on a whole sort of engineered, very highly advanced designed trap, but obviously didn't bear any fruit because we don't have a specimen. So for our purposes in our podcast here, what exactly is A Flash of Beauty, Bigfoot Revealed? It's a documentary. Some listings I'm seeing it says 2021, others released in 2022. That might have been the disc, because then there was a Blu-ray, a DVD. But so it's fairly new, 2 to 3 years old. And bottom line, again, it's just exquisite. It's excellent. I mean, I'm a lover of just great film and TV shows and content, and this is really well produced. It's emotional. The cinematography is gorgeous. The witnesses are all credible and passionate. So here's a little summary on Amazon. A Flash of Beauty, Bigfoot Revealed presents interviews from researchers and eyewitnesses. The film covers historical accounts of Bigfoot, the significance within the indigenous cultures, and the emotional impact of a Bigfoot experience. And that's one of the reasons it really sets itself apart, this doc. All these, great reportings and video, documentaries, they talk about eyewitnesses' accounts. They don't really linger. A certain person will tell their tale and they'll move on. In A Flash of Beauty, Bigfoot Revealed, you linger and you have more than just a minute or two. These two buddies who were doing like a survival video for their YouTube channel, went out there, do camping, fishing, what have you, and lo and behold, they saw a couple Squatch. Actually, they saw a family of Sasquatch, a family of big feet, so to speak. Bigfoot by trois, a trio. So, and it's extraordinary the way these guys tell it, because I think we all have a pretty good bullshit detector in many ways. These guys are telling the truth. If they aren't telling the truth, grand liars. And they could be, they could be just totally goofing off and trying to get some, some documentary time. Yeah, okay. But, and one of the great things is one, they're interviewed and one buddy says to another, and they kind of look at the camera, in total agreement, is that we still call each other after, say, 5-6 years, how many, years this has passed. And they still call each other sometimes 11 o'clock, midnight, and like, can you believe what we friggin' saw? And it just takes them right back to that time, like no time has passed, because they know it's true. Doesn't matter if anyone else does, they know it's true. Similar, I guess, to say maybe, alien abductees, UFO sightings. They saw it, they know it's true, or certainly whatever they saw is, pretty tangible, and it wasn't swamp gas or, a mirage. So these guys are like, this is true. We saw a family of Bigfoot, Sasquatch. And that's it. We're telling our tale, and, if you believe it's great. If not, who cares? Now, of course, the great thing about Amazon is all the reviews, right? All the customer reviews, some professional reviewers as well, I guess. I'm going through them. Here's one of the earliest ones. Very well done. This is just about 2 days ago. This is not a shock you with crazy new footage, but it is a beautiful tribute to those who have experienced this amazing creature, and it honors their experience. A Flash of Beauty is such a touching and accurate way to describe these encounters in the wild, and I love the respect and wonder conveyed in this piece. Every speaker is outstanding. As I just said, I echo this. Like, all these docs, they give you some good footage and maybe, a scientist or a researcher or two. They show some historical accounts. With A Flash of Beauty, Bigfoot Revealed, it's the people that go on and on about their stories. And often, maybe it's 30 seconds, a minute, maybe a couple minutes. It's not long, because I guess, Sasquatch has appointments. He's a busy guy or gal. He or she is out of there, right? Or in this case, and one of the greatest ones in this doc is the family of Bigfoot, the family of Sasquatch, the Sasquatch family out on a little hike, whatever they're doing, and they see the two dudes, and they're like, we got to go. And it's one guy says how they like kind of locked eyes, and the father Bigfoot, or maybe it's the mama who takes the child, the teenager, the tyke by the hand, and kind of protects him and pushes him behind him, as any parent would do when they saw something maybe dangerous or risky for their child. It's just incredible, and I think that alone gives credence. Certainly, it doesn't prove anything, but it gives credence to the story. To add that moment and aspect of it is pretty convincing to me, anyway. And another Amazon review here: best Bigfoot document ever. I have seen just about every documentary about Bigfoot since the early 70s, and this is hands down the best. I've watched it twice, and I want to watch it again. It's that unique. Bravo, as I've said, right? It's a perfect intro to its Bigfoot topic for beginners, and it's a wholly satisfying for those of us who've been researching the topic for decades. What makes it particularly engaging and unique is its focus on eyewitnesses and what it's like to have gone through the experience, which can be both a blessing and a curse. The interview subjects are extremely well curated, their stories expertly woven together in a way that paints a full picture of where we are at this point in dealing with this great mystery. Lastly, as a filmmaker myself, I marvel at the sheer level of good taste and craft on display here. From the first frame to the last, the music, the sound, the cinematography, the graphics, it's all top notch. Highly recommended. Absolutely. Thank you, Becky R. You can go right on Amazon and look up the Blu-ray. Becky R. That's her review, and I completely echo it. I was shocked because whereas most every Bigfoot, movie and TV show I've seen, competent to good to fun to fairly well done, this is the Gandhi, the Star Wars of the Avatar now. James Cameron is making a mint with Avatar 2. This is the pinnacle of Bigfoot squatchery, and it's just a great doc. If you're just looking for a great movie, you'll find it in a flash of beauty, Bigfoot Revealed. And finally, this is a great way to put it. He says, great stories. I'm not looking for hard scientific evidence when I watch these documentaries. I'm here for the stories, and this one delivered. So again, that's the selling point of A Flash of Beauty, Bigfoot Revealed. It's the stories. They do go through indigenous cultures, the Native American experience, how for hundreds of years, Native people have documented Sasquatch, have taken their totem poles and carved them in it. And the great, fact is they don't take a totem pole and carve their equivalent of a unicorn or a fairy or a dragon, a mythical beast. They're about real practical things like bear and coyote, wolves. So when you see a totem pole with a Sasquatch on it, there was a good reason for that to be there. And I think they say, the totem poles, people think it's the first one is the most important. It's the opposite. So the ground, the first foundation of that totem pole, I think, is usually where they'll put Sasquatch. So he is the primary, she is the primary, that creature, that mythological beast that most people would think are not. Well, to the native people and the native carvers, whomever did that totem pole, if they include Sasquatch, it's real, at least to them. And finally, I went to the IMDb, and here's the last review. This guy gives it 10 out of 10, probably the most down-to-earth Sasquatch documentary I've ever seen. Credible testimonies from a wide range of witnesses and the perfect doc for skeptics to watch. Highly recommended this if you're interested in the subject of Sasquatch. And the title was excellent, and he gives it 10 out of 10, and that's on the IMDb. So there you have it. This is about Squatch. Okay, this is Bigfoot. This is our buddy. And all jokes aside, or all, merriment aside, to me, the most compelling thing about it, the most sort of foundational and stirring thing is that people keep seeing it. I think a lot of people who don't give much time to this, I don't fault them. We all have our sort of passions. This is definitely one of mine. That old footage from the 60s, that's kind of cool, but it's a guy in a suit. And they sort of dismiss it and thinking, that's maybe the only thing. Each year, from what I understand, I can't say the most concrete, stats, hundreds of people see Sasquatch in nearly every state, or every state. It's reported, the sightings are reported in every state. Really, really absorb that. Every state has dozens, if not hundreds of sightings. And the one statistic I heard, this was the late 90s, so about 23 years ago, there was almost 5,000 sightings. So 23 years later, documented. So you're talking about, even if that doubled in 20 years, you're talking about 10,000 documented sightings. So thousands and thousands of sightings. So, this is not just, one time, that footage, and it's a phenomena. So there you go. A Flash of Beauty, Bigfoot Revealed, a great, great documentary about Bigfoot, and just a really good film. There you go. Check it out. What's great is most streaming sites, I think, have it for free. I watched mine on Tubi. Vudu has it. I think Apple Plus, Apple TV, whatever. And I think there's a couple more. So Squatch gets around. He gets around, and you can see him for free. Watch a little ads. And it's a great buying price. The disc, I think, is about $15. Digital, I think, is about $9. You can't beat it for fine squatchery. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you're continuing to enjoy. And you're subscribing to Sci-Fi Guy. And go watch A Flash of Beauty, Bigfoot Revealed. Comment on it, please. Give me some feedback because I want to see how you liked it. We'll see you soon.